Right now we're trying to get Holly Bear down in front of the viewing windows for everyone to see her. We also have Ted Bear in a pen, and we'll be letting him out probably in about 5 or so minutes to get her a little more acclimated to being with other bears that we have here. Holly Bear has been out a few times in the last few days out in front like this, and every day we see she's growing in confidence to come out in front of a crowd, get used to smells and noises of people, and also we've been finding she's very responsive to her reflection in the viewing windows. And so we're trying to get her a little bit more used to that. And one way we do that is to have her 2 mama bears, or Heidi and Sharon, out with her. Holly Bear, though, has yet to get in this pond, but I'm sure with the help of her 2 surrogate mothers. Oh, she's making her first steps in. PTZ driver, focus on Holly on the center of the pond. She's about ankle deep. And we have a nice little rubber ducky for her to play with. Lucky Bear, our 7-year-old male, also likes to play with this little rubber ducky and has one just like it in his own pen. Holly Bear just got about chest deep and now is shaking off the water. I'm sure that felt very good on her hot little coat. We also have Ted Bear, who is our 17-year-old male. He is our largest bear we have here. He is 549 pounds. We weighed him yesterday. And he's our love bug. He likes people, I think, more than black bears. We also have Honey Bear, and she is our cinnamon phase black bear. She is our oldest bear we have here at the North American Bear Center. She is 18 years old. And in captivity, black bears can live into their 30s. There have been records. Oh, Holly Bear's climbing up the pat tree, PTZ driver. As you can see, it's a very simple task for her to climb up those trees. And I believe the staff has put in some red grapes and peanuts in that little platform for her to get. But she climbs pretty much without effort. And she's probably just sniffing all the people on the deck. Like I said, black bears use their nose a lot to identify what people are or what another bear is or where they are, and so she's probably getting a lot of really good smells right now. And I think this is the first time little Holly Bear has climbed up this tree, so that's really, really, really good news. And as you guys might have seen, she just kind of pulled off a branch. And we think sometimes she does that out of nervous behavior, or sometimes it's just playful behavior. The other day she climbed up a cedar and she was stripping bark off at the top and crawling all the way back down and then dropping it, looking at Heidi, one of her surrogate mothers, and then climbing all the way back up and peeling some more bark off. So she's very, very playful, a very energetic little bear. And she has some pretty big claws, so she can climb very high up really fast. She's trying to grab some more branches down and carry them off. I would like to thank you guys for being so quiet on the deck. That's very helpful. I'm sure she's trying to figure out where my voice is coming from, and I'm kind of hiding in the corner over here, but black bears are very smart animals. They have excellent long-term memory. And so once she figures out she can climb this tree and get some food off that platform, she'll remember that and probably do it again. Oh, she got it. Yum, yum, yum. I think red grapes and peanuts in the shells are some of her favorite foods, and this is very similar to what black bears would do in the wild. They'd have to climb up a tree or try to problem solve and figure out how to get their yummy treats or their food. She's going back up. I'm just going to go off mic so we can all just watch Holly and she doesn't have to listen to my voice anymore. Do you have a question? I'll ask if there's any questions on the deck from anyone. We have a few groups here today, so any questions from anyone? Yeah, you guys. What are your questions? The question was, how do bears climb with their paws? Well, if you can kind of see, Holly bear has very long claws, and that's a characteristic of most black bears, or I should say all black bears. And so they're long and curved, which makes them really, really strong and makes climbing pretty easy, especially when she's only about 85 pounds, so she can climb up really fast. All right, any other questions? The question was, how do bears get down from the trees? Well, as you can see, they usually go rear end first. They never go head first, and they kind of just stick their claws in and kind of hop down. They usually go a lot slower down than they do up. It's a little more awkward, I think, for bears to climb down because they can't really see where they're going either. Yes? How do you get the bears in here? The question was, how do we get the bears in here? Well, like into the whole enclosure? Yeah? Well, usually they come to us and they're tranquilized, and so they're usually asleep, and then these giant kind of pet boxes, and then once we get them here, it kind of depends, but like Holly bear came to us and she had this giant moving crate she was in. She woke up, it was December, so we tried to get her to hibernate right away. So we put her in a separate little pen, and each of the 4 black bears here have a separate pen, and in that pen they have a separate den in which they hibernate in. And so she went right to sleep again, but most of the time they have to be usually tranquilized to get them here. But good question. Any other questions? The question was, how do bears climb up fast? You know, bears are very, very strong animals. Now, Holly bear doesn't look very big from here, does she? Only 85 pounds, but she's stronger than probably any human. She could probably knock over when she's playing. She's very, very, very strong. And so we have to be careful, and we're actually training her that playing with people and playing with bears are 2 very different things. And she probably doesn't even realize her own strength right now. And so we're trying to get her to learn to discern, okay, this isn't okay for me to play this rough with people. So because they're so strong, they can climb up trees really, really fast. All right, any other questions? These are good questions, guys. Yeah. Good question. I should have explained myself a little bit. So tranquilized, usually they just put in some medicine and they fall asleep for a long time. And so they're just kind of taking a really long nap. And it's a lot easier to move. I mean, she came from Arkansas, so that's pretty far away. It was a long... All right, good questions. How about this? How about you? What was that? The question was, why do bears go in the woods? That's another excellent question. Well, bears go in the woods because they're kind of fearful, timid animals. So they don't like to be seen. They're very solitary unless they have cubs or are trying to mate. And a black bear will sense a human is around before a human even realizes a bear is around. And so the woods are a perfect spot for a bear to not be seen. In Minnesota, we have about 25,000 black bears total. And in North America, there are over 700,000 black bears, so they're very numerous. Another question I just got was what black bears eat in the wild. I may not have elaborated on that before enough. Most of their diet is vegetation. Otherwise, berries and nuts comprise most of their diet. We get a lot of questions here about if they eat fish or meat, raw meat, and they really don't. If there is a wolf kill or something like that, they might eat the remains of, let's say, a deer. But most of the time, they eat bug larvae, vegetation, berries, and nuts. Alright, well, I'll let you guys enjoy our 2 bears we have out right now. I'll be milling around the exhibit hall if you guys have any more questions. Oh, it looks like Ted's going to go for a swim. So on behalf of me and everyone at the North American Bear Center, I would once again like to thank our worldwide volunteers who are listening right now. They put in hours and hours of work to dedicate time and energy to making these broadcasts possible. So once again, I would like to thank them. And then everyone here at the North American Bear Center definitely appreciates it. I would like to mention that everyone who got a pass today, it is a day pass, and we are open until 7 o'clock tonight. So feel free to go into Ely, check out some other stuff, go get a bite to eat, and come on back before 7, and your pass will still be good. We have more enrichments at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. The 4 o'clock enrichment will be worldwide once again. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone here at the North American Bear Center and our volunteers. And I hope you enjoyed this enrichment and have a wonderful day, especially in Ely. We finally got some sun. Thank you.